Everyone, I'm here with Conrad from Conrad Estate Agents. Great guy. I've been working with Conrad for quite a few years now on ValPal and a couple of other services. So Conrad's just here to share some feedback on since Conrad has upgraded to ValPal Pro. He's been seeing some really good results. So Conrad, how long would you say you've been using ValPal Pro now?
Probably been since September 2025. And yeah, it's been quite a good journey so far.
Wicked, good match. And in terms of, because obviously the idea of ValPal Pro is it's there to help with lead conversion, lead follow-up. So before sort of upgrading from ValPal to ValPal Pro, what would you say was the challenges you sort of facing with sort of lead conversion, lead sort of follow-up?
It's the time in estate agency. I think the biggest thing I was missing is that I just wasn't getting enough time to call the valuations. As soon as they came in, as you know, it can take a 6 month process for certain leads. Some leads are instant, which is great. But I just didn't have the time to nurture the texting, the emailing. And what ValPal Pro done for me was pretty much give me that nurture. And it's just filled the gap and done more than I could ever imagine, to be honest.
Oh, wicked. Well, that's good too, because that was exactly the idea of it, because we know it's great generating leads, which we was doing. It was generating some really good volumes, but it's then that next step. And as you said, you're not sitting there waiting for the phone to ring all day. You're out and about, viewings, valuations, etc. So that's the whole idea. It's filling that gap, as you said. Brilliant. So, and in terms of so with those challenges, how would you say ValPal Pro has helped to solve those sort of challenges?
Pretty much, like, if you think of it as like your diary as an agent, as you've got 100 other things to do, and there's always that one side of the business is that you just could never fulfill. And even as hiring staff, you still haven't got time, because the phone will ring when you're trying to out dial and you're trying to do 100 things, or if you're texting, you're missing that lead. And I think if you imagine having a lead sheet and like kind of going through it all, it's almost impossible, because another 100 tasks will come in. And that's what pretty much ValPal Pro has done for me. It's pretty much filled those tasks and just, done better than I can ever imagine. Honestly, I've been so impressed.
Oh, brilliant. And it's that, isn't it? You walk into the day with the best interest, going, right, today I'm going to call these 20 people today, your follow-up sort of task, as you said. And then the typical day happens, things blow up, the phones start ringing, and then that gets pushed to the back, or even worse, doesn't get done. But that's the benefit, isn't it? The beauty, it's going to get done every single day, just in the background. Awesome. And in terms of, so is there any specific sort of successes that comes to mind that you can think of since we've sort of added on ValPal Pro for you?
Probably my biggest success. It got me one about 40 minutes away on my database. I don't even know where I got the lead from, if I'm honest with you. So I passed over from my database, and it's picked me a landlord that's given me well over 100 properties so far. Wow. So it's he's done so well, and it's just constant. So, but I would have never have spoken to this gentleman because it was in the database hidden. I registered him in 2024 as well. So I only got him this year, January. So really impressed. It was just timing, met him, and then all of a sudden it was only for one property, because obviously that's what it was trying to do, is just get me in for one, and that one just obviously turned to 100. So it's been so amazing. Without this, I wouldn't have called him otherwise, because why would I have called 40 minutes away? It just mined it and done what it needed to. So really impressed.
Wow, and that shows the power and the gold that's sitting in the database, and when it's worked properly and effectively, the opportunities are there, but you just wouldn't have had the time to do that manually otherwise, would you?
That's it. And obviously with the other leads as well that we're getting in, we've had loads of other success stories off that as well. We've had loads of lettings, loads of sales, and it's not just that one, but I've just been it's just a nice feature to have something that's doing it 24/7 in a sense. I know it's not ringing them at 10, but it's always on point. You're never forgetting a text. You're never forgetting an email. You're never forgetting the call. And I think for me, that is so important to time it. When everyone else is chaotic, you want something still running and taking that nurture. So it's been, and like this morning I've seen, it's already just got me another one now for sales, and we just put the valuation in then. So again, it's really, really happy with that.
Oh, well. Oh, that's brilliant news, Conrad. And obviously it's been brilliant working with you over this journey too, because obviously we was working with each other for years before we had this. And it was just a prime example of why we developed this, because it was just those volumes. As you said, it allows you to get on with your day to day, focus on what you need to, because then this is just running in the background 24/7.
100%, I agree.
Perfect. Well, Conrad, really, really appreciate your time and the feedback, especially on days like today when it's heat wave, 30 odd degrees. You deserve a nice lolly.
That's it. And that's the other thing. I'll be finishing half day and ValPal Pro will still be working.
Yeah.
So even on days like this. So yeah, I do appreciate it.
Oh, wicked. Well, thanks for your time, Conrad, and the feedback. Really, really appreciate it. And obviously, love having you on board.
Perfect. Thank you, Anthony.
Lovely. Cheers, Conrad.